If we could come to order. I'm standing in for your chairman, Norman Seabrook, and we're going to kind of do this as co-chairs because I too have an appointment and a train to catch, but I think we might be done by then. We'll see. And I'm sure you all know Bob Bickford. Could I have a motion? You and I move and everything else. I move to approve the minutes. Thank you. I think that's unanimous. Are there any changes in the work plan? Frederica is upstairs in a meeting, and this is Judy Walker. Sorry. Any changes to the work plan, Judy? None that I've seen.
None.
I haven't seen any changes, so I'm assuming there's nothing that I don't know.
No.
This is my favorite meeting of this group because this is the meeting where everyone gets to explain why they got the awards they got for the year. And I realize that this year is a little different in that we haven't actually had the awards ceremony yet. So I love it this way because now I know before anyone else. Oh, you did have one?
You were there.
I was? Did I go to an awards? You know,
It runs into last
they
year's.
said to me, now, we haven't had the awards ceremony, and I said, we haven't? Okay. And then I looked at this and I said, I thought we did, but I must be wrong. Okay, I'm very glad. And I apologize, because this is really my favorite, which is getting to understand what each of you did in order to win the award. And usually there are a lot of similarities between what the agencies did because it takes certain similarities in the safety program to achieve the kind of safety results that we've been seeing in the last few years. So with that, we start with Bridges and Tunnels, which is the Throgs Neck Bridge Roll Call Program, and that's Ed Wallace and Susan Goldman presenting. And I think we're set.
You push a button.
Right, you
Is
got
that it? Okay.
Yeah, there should
Start
be a little
again.
red thing, a little red dot there that you can see.
Thank you for inviting us, and thank you for giving the Throgs Neck Bridge such a prestigious award. To my right is Susan Goldman. She is the operations superintendent of the bridge, and Andy Petrovich is our chief of health and safety. During the year 2007, we had a number of employees that were injured, so my staff and I tried to come up with something different. And someone had suggested, why don't we go to roll calls? It was quite successful. In 2008, there were approximately 1,500 appearances by managers at roll call. That would be myself, my operations superintendent, or the maintenance superintendent, or sometimes all three of us. And we came up with the goals of the program. First of all, safety. To get 100% safety is the obvious goal. But the goals of this particular program were to ensure each employee goes home injury-free at the end of the day, to provide a safe work environment on the bridge, on the toll plazas, in the garages, and in the service building. Raise safety awareness, and provide reminders to employees at roll call. What would we do is if someone had gotten hurt, or if there was a near miss, it would be discussed at roll call for the following 2 or 3 days. Just telling people to be careful. If there was something on the toll plaza we could not fix right away, we would paint it with orange or put a cone out there and make everybody aware that there is a possible problem out there and we're working on it. And probably the most important thing is the expeditious follow-up on all safety issues raised by the employees. This is very, very important. When an employee knows to go to the sergeant and push up the line of a safety item, that it will in fact be corrected. If it cannot be corrected, as I said, we tell the employees when it will be and to be careful as to what the problem is. Then we go to the program basics. The methods. Methods is reinforcing the work practices, roll calls for officers, and toolbox meetings for maintenance. I have a staff of about 13 maintenance employees. This is very important because they do not attend roll calls. So what the maintenance superintendent does, he will have once a week, he'll have a toolbox meeting with the employees on duty. Depending on the schedule, he will meet with the midnight tour 2 or 3 times a week. That means he'll be in by 6 o'clock and meet with his midnight employees. We have 3 midnight employees. And he discusses any problems or gets any advice from them or suggestions. Discussion points, always proper protective gear for our officers. That means wearing the vest, wearing the safety shoes. lessons learned authority-wide. We have a meeting quarterly with our other GMs, my colleagues, and the maintenance staff and the engineering staff in traffic engineering, health and safety, where they discuss other near misses at other facilities. We discuss at the meeting, and we bring it back to our employees. And utilization of proper tools and the proper protective for maintenance. That would be if they work out in the field, obviously, always wear glasses, always wear gloves, obviously the proper safety shoes. And management verbally encourages team effort to support safety and encourages open communication. We have coverage. We have 3 managers on site. We have coverage from 6 o'clock in the morning and at least 6 o'clock at night, depending what's going on. That can obviously go further into the day. That also means snowstorms, windstorms. There is a manager there. They know that there will be a manager there to give advice or to help them in any way. The next section we have is a typical roll call. That's the Throgs Neck Bridge building. Roll calls are at 11 o'clock at night, 6 in the morning, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So in this particular case, we had 2 managers there, myself and Susan. The roll call does go a little bit further down the line. We couldn't get a camera to take the wide lens. The lieutenant who runs the facility and 2 sergeants. And they discuss whatever actions. This is a typical toolbox meeting. That's Ray Higgins, my maintenance superintendent. Here he's discussing the safety of a high-low lift. And the statistics, as I said, 2007 there were 8 injuries for 385 days. 3 of those injuries accounted for 366 days. With the program in place in 2008, we had 2 injuries for a total of 37 days. 1 injury was a maintenance employee hurt his back. The other injury was very, very strange, truly an accident. The individual was in the locker room and slipped. The slip didn't hurt him, but when he touched the corner of the box that holds the fire extinguisher, somehow his finger got cut. Very, very strange. So what we did in something like that, we obviously went, we grinded it down, we put tape, and we let my colleagues know that this possibly could happen, a very, very freakish accident. And that is it. Oh, I'm sorry, the conclusion. So, after many years of experimenting with different methods to ensure employee safety, we know that the beginning of each employee's tour of duty is critical, where we reinforce safe work practices. And the management must demonstrate its commitment to maintaining a safe work environment. We tell our employees, if you get hurt, you let us know, no matter how little. It seems to work. So I also have to say, this only works because of tie-in from the union personnel and the commitment of the management team. We have a very strong group at the Throgs Neck Bridge, and I think throughout the authority itself, we're doing quite well.
It's amazing results, isn't it?
Yeah,
Amazing.
Yes.
And it seems like one of the great strengths that you've managed to instill in this program is the value of communicating
Definitely.
information and suggestions. I was especially happy to hear you say that you look at authority-wide
Yes, we do that.
accidents, because the board is always trying to take that kind of authority-wide look, and it's good to see an agency do the same thing, particularly with safety, because there's a lot of similarities, even though you're a very different agency than many of the others.
Right. Ms. Kupman insists on that, Jimmy Farrar, our vice president, and Andy, they all insist on that.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be working. So I thank you.
Very nice. Thank you. New York City Department of Buses, a joint management and transport workers union local 100 bus operator action committee. Wayne Galanti. This is interesting because this really follows on the comments just made.
Thank you. On behalf of the Bus Operator Action Committee, we'd like to thank you for the honor of receiving the Chairman Safety Award and this opportunity to share our experience with the project. Today we'll be talking to how the BOAC came to be. Thank you. Provide an overview of projects we have touched and share what we believe are some of our successes and lessons learned. Some background. BOAC was formed as a result of a specific assault crime on a bus operator that occurred in 2002. That criminal act highlighted the perils such attacks can yield. In that particular crime, which occurred on May 5th, 2002, the bus operator on the B60 bus was stabbed and the knife-wielding perpetrator lost their life. Because of this crime, and with the urging and support of the TWU, we collectively recognize the need to form a working committee to see just how we could best protect our bus operators. From its inception, BOAC was designed to be an open forum, one that would be jointly chaired and well represented by both management and TWU Local 100 membership. In our committee meetings, we have a TWU representative from each of the TWU bus depots within New York City Transit, as well as their attending TWU central leadership. New York City Transit, and depending upon the subject matter, MTA management, round out the committee meetings attendees. At the end of the day, this is work to be a non-confrontational forum where recommendations and ideas are exchanged openly. Because of the circumstances surrounding the 2002 assault, the first priority supported by the group was the creation of an assault bill that would make an assault on a bus operator a felony. That thankfully happened in 2002. At that time, and through the subsequent years, BOAC has worked hard to take on other serious issues in a number of areas. As you can see, these have been varied and significant. Basically, if you look up there, we see that we touch all areas of our business. And just permit me today to highlight a few examples of our work. With regard to employee and customer safety, we have looked into and had impact on our in-service operations, as well as supporting awareness campaigns to improve both employee and customer safety and security through many communication mechanisms. Training is another area where BOAC has made some worthwhile contributions to the organization. Our group had direct input into the creation and/or modification of many training curriculum. In the area of first line of defense, for example, this group played a supportive role during its development, participating in focus groups, pilot program delivery, and course refinement. In today's world, we know that when crisis occurs in the New York metropolitan area and any community we service, MTA will play a key role in moving people out of harm's way. BOAC has contributed to making that job easier through its review and perspective on a number of security-related subject matter. This has included, for example, clarification of the whys and how-tos to the BOAC reps themselves to help clarify for our workforce certain protocols, such as how emergencies are managed in our bus command center. And of course, we have worked with BOAC to fast-track the insights from the person that will be doing the job task on their perspective, i.e., how a conceptual protocol will pan out or could be done better. Also permit me at this time to share with you one of our lessons learned. A common theme running through all of BOAC's work is that as decisions are made higher up in the organization and have impact on the line, it's significant for the organization and value to have the feedback from the person that's going to be actually doing the task. Quick note with regard to operating protocols, BOAC's facilitated a number of relevant issues to the organization. Just as one example, we recently issued our permanent bulletin on bus operator personal safety and conflict resolution in June. The final product was a vastly different one than first presented to BOAC. Finally, a few words on new technology. It can bring promise of benefits and positive change, but also can cause doubt and concerns over its effectiveness and purpose to our workforce. In the case of onboard cameras, we reviewed the proposed cameras on buses pilot with BOAC to showcase the potential of this new technology. From this effort, New York City Transit gained valuable feedback on how to communicate the project to the workforce, and was also able to get the bus operator's perspective on how best to use this equipment in crisis situations. In the case of hybrid buses, feedback from bus operators provided their perspective on operating the equipment and training considerations needed as well. While our discussions and meetings are often robust, the understanding of attendees is that we have a single purpose in mind. Let's make it better for all of us impacted by this work, employees, customers, and the communities we traverse with our operations. Thank you so much for this opportunity to present the BOAC work.
Thank you. BOAC was triggered by a specific incident, but the interesting thing about the program is that it's really expanded, and especially in the emergency circumstances that we run into sometimes when our buses are needed to replace a service somewhere, I think BOAC is having more than a safety effect. I think it has improved communications tremendously. So it's interesting to watch what started out as a safety program really expand into opening communications throughout an agency. It's a very good thing you're doing.
Thank you.
New York City Transit Subways, East 180th Street Maintenance Facility. Donald.
Good afternoon. You're looking at a slide of East 180th Street Maintenance Shop. It's been completely renovated 10 years ago, and that helps a lot with our safety because we have a clean, beautiful facility with wide aisles, good lighting, and that helps a lot. Okay, for 2008, we had one lost time accident. And that's actually a pretty amazing feat, considering that we provide 24-hour coverage 365 days a year. We work indoors and outdoors. It's not just the maintenance shop. We have 2 subway yards and 2 terminals that we take care of also. East 180th Street is responsible for maintaining the number 5 line. We have 380 R142 subway cars. We have approximately 150 employees. And like I said before, we work in the maintenance shop, the yards. We have Dyer and Flatbush terminals also. The main thing we do there is we inspect the cars every 71 days or 11,000 miles, whatever comes first. We also do any of the repairs that we find. We're also responsible for all the car cleaning at 2 terminals and the yards. Yeah, we have a workforce of electricians, mechanics, and cleaners, and we're doing heavy industrial work. Okay, you're looking at the R142 subway cars. They were built by Bombardier from 99 to 2003. Right now our cars are 8 to 10 years old. Okay, a safety program. The main thing is the Office of System Safety provides us with support and guidance for any of our programs that we need. Okay, the shop AGM actively monitors the status of the Safety Goal Action Plan. The AGM management and supervisors routinely conduct audits and assessments to monitor safety performance. Supervisors conduct job task hazard assessments for required PPE to ensure all employees are properly instructed for the proper PPE for each job. Shop supervisors and managers conduct detailed on-the-job injury investigations to prevent accident recurrences. Joint TWU Local 100 and shop management hold monthly safety meetings and do shop walk-around inspections to identify and eliminate any unsafe conditions and practices in the shops. Management communicates with employees in advocating safety awareness. Shop management establishes safe and productive work environment and work cultures. Shop procedures, shop equipment and tools are checked, procedures are upgraded. Tools and equipment are kept in the best of condition. Any equipment that's found that has any problems is red tagged, and it's got to be repaired before you can use it again. The safety times are published by the Car Equipment DCE Chief Officer. They're given to all of our employees, and they're gone over during safety meetings also. We use teamwork and communications. Supervisors conduct work safety meetings so everyone will know the safety requirements. Stop cords are used extensively. When an unsafe act is observed, it will be stopped and they will be shown the right way to do it. It will also be noted on a stop card, which then will be audited. We are serious about safety and also working safely as a condition of employment. Thank you.
You are the AGM, right?
Yeah.
The maintenance shops are like the beehives to me. They're always busy, and I admit you have a very nice facility to work in, but they're always busy in places where safety really has to be foremost in your mind. Thank you, Mr. Molinaro.
You're welcome.
Long Island Railroad Maintenance of Equipment, West Side Shop. And this is Andrea, I don't know how to say your name.
Uriarte.
Uriarte.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and I'd like to thank you all for giving us this opportunity to present Long Island Railroad West Side Shop Safety Program. My name is Andrea Uriarte, and I am the Maintenance of Equipment General Foreman in charge of West Side Shop. Our safety program in the shop is anchored on the fundamentals of housekeeping, use of proper tools on the job, protective equipment on the job, and paying attention to details. West Side Shop is located here in Manhattan and situated in a 10,000 square foot facility. And we are responsible for periodic inspection of about 1,040 M7 cars per year and the life cycle maintenance of M3 equipment, where we build our own trucks on the shop, and we work around high voltage electricity, small confined space and surfaces, and these are typically contaminated with grease, road dirt. All are potential hazards for serious accidents. The West Side Shop personnel in total is about 75, consisting of myself, 38 electricians, I have 4 gang foremen, 22 car repairmen, machinists, and oilers. We work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Aside from working in our shop, we are also responsible for our own shop yards. We are responsible for 3 transfer tracks and has control over the track switches. These tracks we use for receiving and releasing cars to and from the shop, and we need a very close and tight coordination with the yard master to ensure safety of equipment movement. In our shop, we have 4 race trucks. One truck. Yes, we have inside the shop we have 4 race trucks, and we have 1 truck with a pit and 1 with a hydraulic hoist. None of our trucks have apron, and this is why it becomes necessary that every time we have to work on the front end of the equipment, we have to use a scissor lift. So you can imagine how dangerous sometimes it can be to work with this equipment. Now, having those challenges in mind, we continue to attain and achieve the goal of FRA reportable accident by 7%. Our approach to safety, awareness, and the workplace is to reinforce the programs that has been instilled already in the past. So we provide continuity of what we have learned from previous programs. We stick with the fundamentals of housekeeping, making sure that the shop is always clean and free from hazards. We make sure that people are communicated with potential hazards that are coming. Every time that there is a new crew, a new person on the job, we try to make time to make sure that they're aware of the facilities of the yard, which are dangerous, which are not, and how to prevent themselves from being hurt. These fundamentals are listed with the photos that I'm going to show on the next slides. As we enter the shop, there is a safety banner. This reminds everyone that we are responsible for our own safety. We supervise ourselves. We have monthly safety walkthrough. The monthly safety walkthrough is a work that we do together with our system safety department. So we ensure that there's also an objective group to really pinpoint to us and let us know if they are observing something that we need to pay attention to. We have instructional documents that, the previous slide. We have instructional documents on the proper use of tools on the job, and we alert them on what are the tools that we should not use in our job, because that may give them, that will present some problems or can give them a potential risk. We provide safety notice alerts on specific hazard locations to identify what could be a potential hazard for the employees. And we utilize containers like the one in the photo to ensure that oil and water lines are protected from spills. We have our memorandums from senior management to give importance to the safety consciousness on the job. The gang foreman ensures that each time that the shift starts, they go through the safety briefing that includes the jobs that are to be tackled for that particular shift, what are the necessary tools to be used, and what are the points that need to be attended to in a very important way. We have also instituted a truck pit cycle cleaning program, and aisle repainted to ensure that people are aware of safety hazards on the job, and the pit are always clean to ensure that everybody is protected. Our monthly safety newsletter is provided to ensure safety consciousness. And as you can see in this particular graph, for the past 5 years, using the simple approaches and fundamentals that we use on our shop, we were able to achieve zero FRA accidents on the job, and 2 years in a row, in spite of a 15% increase of manpower in 2008. Moving forward, we plan to continue using these fundamentals, and hopefully with more communication on the job and paying attention to details, we will achieve another year of zero accident. That concludes my presentation, and again, thank you so much.
Bob and I recently visited the Harmon Yards that isn't yet operational for Metro North. These shops are amazing to me in terms of the technology and the changes that you have every time your technology improves, you have to totally improve your safety record. So to get zero 2 years in a row is spectacular.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
MTA Bus Company Performance Monitoring Program. Rich Sarizo?
Yes, Cerezo.
Sarizo.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a distinguished honor to be presenting today on a program that was developed, and thank you to the committee for recognizing our hard work in such a amazing endeavor that we took on. Basically, we started off the program in January 2008. I'm actually a superintendent with the Safety and Training Performance Division and also one of the instructors. We decided to take this on to implement what we took on as a multifaceted accident reduction program. We needed to identify who needed to have the training done to and the training methods that we would use, and then follow-up monitoring to make sure that the program that we instilled would have the positive results that we hoped. In identifying the accidents, we basically picked out 4 accidents in a 12-month period. We then decided the training methods would be a 2-day program. We wanted to bring the operators that were merged in with the New York City Transit Division from MTA Bus and bring them up to speed as best as possible as to what the methodologies were and the scheme that were followed already in New York City Transit divisions. We also put in 2 instructors, one of which would be an MTA Bus instructor and one of which would be one from New York City Transit, which would give us the best marriage of both so we can get the both perspectives on through our students. It included classroom time, accident review, which was probably one of my favorite areas of concern, where we discussed areas of preventability, not so much accountability, to make sure that the operators were welcomed into finding out what other methods they could have done in previous accidents to look to improve their skills. That included audio and visual aids, from diagrams to discussing the Smith system in detail with them, various handouts, and sometimes actual demonstration. We identified their deficiencies that existed through either conversation or on the road. This way we could prepare them for actual practical applications. And then we went right behind the wheel and put them to the test. Following that 2-day course, which was pretty intense, we then monitored them, follow up with undercover rides with superintendents who are trained to look for certain issues, using a scoring point system where less than 5 points would remove that bus operator from a PMP list, giving them a little bit of incentive. The areas of concern that we monitored them included anywhere from basic skills to turns, bus stops, highway driving if it included that, and also general driving skills. In all, 83 operators were identified and placed in the PMP program. They actually represented 4% of the general MTA bus population. However, those 4% of bus operators encompassed 16.3% of the year 2007 collision and customer incidents. And following the program, as we went through, after the 12 months proceeded, these same 83 bus operators then accounted for only 4.3% during the following year in 2008. As the critical data shows, when we started off, as far as MTA Bus was concerned, pre-PMP for 2007, the amount of collisions and incidents included 2,314, and the post numbers for 2008 after the PMP program was enacted came down to 2,221. The collisions per 100,000 mile went from approximately 6% in 2007, dropping down to a little under 5.5% the following year, which actually impacted a 9% drop. And as far as the PMP totals themselves, again, when we started out with the 83 operators, we started off with 376 collisions in the year 2007, and that dropped down to 96 the following year after the program was instilled. That brought that down 280 collisions. So we went from a total of 16.3% number of collisions in one year down to 4.3% overall the following year, for a 73.5% reduction, something we were extremely proud of. The key components of our program included their past performance, operational review, basically performance monitoring continued, the point rating system, and the future triggers observing performance and with covert and random rides, accident tracking, performance review, and basically performance through training. It was definitely a pleasure working with the operators, and it's a big follow-up for them, the operators that actually took the program and put it to task and actually did instill what we had taught them. And it was fantastic to work with operators that are, sometimes it's very difficult for operators who have come into a new environment, especially those that have been around for so many years, to actually want to change what they do. The beginning of the class was very tense, and we made it very uncomfortable for them, and they in turn were very receptive and achieved very positive results. Thank you very much.
It's very difficult to devise a program that's basically a proactive program based on trying to prevent something and still build in metrics to measure your success. And I have to hand it to you, you did it with this program. It's good to see, and it's good to see that kind of change and turnabout.
Definitely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Long Island Bus Safety Training Facilities and Maintenance. Oh, I'm really going to ruin your name. Ramnarine Runner?
You did very well.
I did? Would you say it for me, please?
Rupnarine. Last name is
Rupnarine.
Rupnarine.
Okay, Rupnarine.
First name is Ramnarine.
Ramnarine. Thank
That's
you.
why my father has only one name. He knew what he did to me. I'm deeply honored today to present for Long Island Bus. The men and women of Long Island Bus has come a very, very far way. They have not been accustomed to stringent attention to safety and to observe all the different rules and regulations that we have over in transit. I'm happy to say that in response to a spike in 2007 of employee injuries, I was sent over to Long Island Bus in August of 2008, and my first couple of weeks I spent just walking around the depot trying to figure out what to do first and filling up my notepad. Then I had to go back, organize my notepad, and I said, forget about this, let's start from one end of the building. So there we started. I dialogued with maintenance managers, supervisors, facility department who usually do the repairs on the building, and a dialogue with union stewards. It was amazing how quickly everybody bought into the safety program, and I'm very, very happy about it. And that is the reason why they have achieved the safety award. At this point, I want to thank the Chairman Safety Committee for presenting us the award cup as well as the safety award for Most Improved Depot. And also I see Mr. Sweeney here. He was very instrumental in giving us the air, because we would not have known that we could have won such a trophy. So thank you, Tim and Steve. After the dialogue with depot personnel, we all started to work together identifying safety infractions, looking at the labor force, seeing how they operate, trying to find ways and means to correct them. And I figured I'd start from the floor. So I started to organize cleaning on the work floor, organizing the work floor, getting rid of clutter. I started to walk around and talk to people about PPE usage, show them the benefits of it, and so the safety work group was born. As we were moving on, buying equipment in order to clean up the work floor and to have them use these equipment to safely drain oil, safely weld, safely paint a bus, and the host of other things that we do. Working with a strict budget, of course. Everybody tells me they don't have any money, so I have to fix my equipment. And we kept moving on from there. I established a safety talks on every tour. This greatly reduced the accidents, in one, because our people were more aware that of their unsafe practices. I also established a monthly safety meeting. In this monthly safety meeting, what we do is we review all IODs from the past meeting. We see where the preventability could have helped. We try to instruct, we talk to the maintainers, and through safety talks we channel all these information back to the employees. And I must say they're very receptive to it because they have seen the improvement. Also, we post profuse safety bulletins around the shop to raise the awarenesses. Items that I have found that were on the books for years and years, got together with facilities and said, let's knock these out, let's get them repaired, and it will minimize injuries to our employees. And facilities pitch in like a giant they are. And we were able to reduce, to get under control all of our safety deficiencies. We still have a ways to go, but I am very pleased with the accomplishments that the safety group had. I also attend compensation meetings where we review the past month IODs for all three facilities. We have Mitchell Field, Rockville Center, and we have Paratransit. In these meetings, we not only discuss what happened to the employee in terms of the medical, we discuss how it happened and what could have prevented this from happening. Attendees at those meetings are the GSs of both transportation and maintenance and the union. So we were able to pinpoint certain things and take it back to our employees as to how to best get through their work days safely. In 2007, as I discussed before, we had 187 employees IODs. In 2008, we were able to reduce this to 120, which gives us an improvement of 64%. Lost time accidents. In 2007, we had 56. In 2008, we were able to control this to a point of 31. Gives us an improvement of 55%. As far as the chart up goes, you can see that there is a fourth location. We also have a giant administrative building above Mitchell Field, and they are counted with paratransit, transportation and maintenance for the other two depots, Rockville Center and Mitchell Field. So this is a cumulative show, 2007 versus 2008, to show a reduction of 55%. And some of the items on the previous slide I've covered in my talk, so if you could roll back to that previous slide, I'm sorry. Program elements. Thank you. During the monthly safety walks, where we have our meetings first, then we come down to the shop floor and we take a walk with the union and management. It helps us to prove our commitment to the employees, helps us to identify where we have our infractions, helps us to look at the activities of the employees as it's happening. And those are the points that we take back to the safety meeting, write it up as our minutes, and let it be talked to the employees on every tour 2 times per month. I think that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. They're great results. And I was peeking at your 2009 results to date. It appears this program's still in effect and still effective, because it looks like you're going to have a good 2009 as well.
Thank you.
Metro North Railroad, Highbridge Car Appearance Facility, Dave Plum.
Thank you. A little history about the Highbridge Car Appearance Facility as far as what we do. They do layover cleaning about 16 trains a day, e-cleaning of 3 trains a day. We do 1 train as far as condenser washing and evaporator cleaning. They're fueling 6 trains a day. We do complete seat changeouts on M2s, M3s, bombs, and M6s. And also they rebuild all the seats and the parts there at the upholstery shop. The employees consist of 81 employees, consist of carmen, car cleaners, mechanics, electricians, 4 foremen, and 2 general foremen. And the tools that we use to achieve this goal were the existing tools. Job safety briefings, which are done every day. Job safety analysis, and the idea programs, which fosters communication. Focus on detail. The facility inspections are done daily. Safety audits, 24/7 audits, and tool audits. using all these and with the employees' participation, we use recognition and get the employees' buy-in through ownership. To establish the two-way communication, job safety briefings are conducted by the general foreman and the foreman every day. And at that time, we solicit feedback from the employees as far as any difficulties, situations they may run into. And if there is any kind of change in the shift operation with reduce of power, loss of power in the shop, or something happening, we'll get back together and do another job safety briefing. This encouraged the entire team and the employees to participate. Job safety analysis are performed by a committee, and it usually always consists of the end users, the people that do the job, and to highlight any high-risk issues that could happen that would result in an injury, to identify them, and also to write it up and come up with a proper procedure to minimize the risk. Ideas program, all employees participate, and it's their voice to make any changes in the system. Facility inspections are performed daily, and this was by the employees that do it. We empower them to do their own inspections of the equipment, and that's stingers, the cables, which could be very hazardous, which was developed through a JSA. All the hoses, as far as we have soap that's pumped throughout the facility. Check those fittings and the reels for leaks. High pressure steam and hot water is inspected every day, and the fuel hose is out on the fuel pad. Safety audits are performed by the foreman and the general foreman daily. 24/7 audits are performed by the general foreman and the foreman. And this tool we use to correct, and also to correct bad behaviors, but also to enforce good behaviors, which is a very good tool. We do tool inspections for the upholstery shop and in the employees, guns, electric drills, drill bits. We do a monthly inspection of all tools. Any tools that they have, we replace to make sure that they're not using defective equipment and tools. We also did looked at the upholstery shop and looked at how they were working in the upholstery shop on benches. Employees had to stand on concrete. We bought them ergonomic mats so it would reduce the strain on their legs. We also, the area in the shop would, if it was 90 degrees outside, it would be like 105 inside. We put air conditioning in there. We actually stored the material, looked at how they were bringing the material in and shipping it out, and proper storage for the material they were using on hand. So we changed a lot of issues that were in the upholstery shop, which also fostered their buy-in and their ownership, basically. And the ideas came from the employees. Recognition, that's done on a daily basis, and also on the monthly safety meetings. We recognize the team at the end of the year 2008 for obtaining that year injury-free goal. And the biggest thing was through communication. If we get ownership, and the employees demonstrated that the buy-in, the change of attitude, and we always communicated the goal to them, and they're a good working team. Very good. We took it from 2007 from 5 injuries down to 0.
That's as good as it gets.
Yes.
The commonality that I'm hearing always is that safety is a team effort, and when you've got the team focused on safety, the results are very, very good. I congratulate each one of you. I think the programs are great. Your presentations were wonderful because it really helps to understand what you really did, and this is also a way of sharing what you've learned amongst the agencies. The second quarterly safety reports are in your book. Is there anything there that you want to discuss separately? The results are a little difficult to compare 08 to 09 because the weather events that we had in those 2 years were very different. And we all know that the tough, inclement weather increases our slips and slides and falls. So we'll wait until the year's out to really look at our numbers. And Chief Cohen, your crime results are in. Is there anything you'd like to talk to us about?
No, I'd just like to get on record and say we're down 19%. Basically, the numbers are being driven by Metro North in the north and Staten Island to the south. Metro North's down 37%, and then Staten Island's down 63%. In the east, we're doing well, but we are up 12%. And that's mainly being driven by property crime. And that's from yards, from train property, and then from our customers in wallets and purses. But it is going in the right direction. They were down 32% for August in the east, and we're going to continue in that direction. This is my goal and my hope. We look at the crime conditions daily. We look at safety and counterterrorism measures. We make an assessment, and then we deploy accordingly. But things are going pretty smoothly. So.
I'm going to toot your horn a little bit because the crime results that the board has been seeing have impressed us very much. Crime is going down. You're making more arrests. You're getting more bad guys out of our trains, and we're very pleased to see those results. So we thank you for that.
Thank you.
Bob, do you have anything to add? Are there any other comments from anyone? Would you move to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? And we're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Aye.